reason I like it more, like I was saying before, is because of the freaking, you could evolve them up to 5 or 6 times or something, and then sometimes you have to de-evolve them and re-evolve them. So a lot of people see the freaking level grinding pain in the ass, but I love, because the reward is so satisfying once you get them to that final evolution, and they're super strong. And that to me is more satisfying. That's my favorite part of the whole monster capturing mechanic. That you capture a monster, and then you freaking, when he levels up, he doesn't just level up and get freaking stronger armor, or he gets to like a special little move, which you do that in every freaking monster capturing game. But
ik ben Rodney en dit zijn de 10 dingen die ik van mijn verjaardag zou willen krijgen. 1. iPhone. Eigenlijk heb ik al een iPhone. In plaats van iPhone zou het een iPad willen. Earpods van het merk Apple, want ik ben een Apple-vriend. Ja, eigenlijk een Apple TV. Kan ik lekker tv kijken? PlayStation 5. Omdat het nieuwe...
Your girl Kamala Harris. She got off her knees and came on the show. Not my show. She went on somebody else's show. And it was a catastrophe. I can't believe these people. Like, is nobody coaching her? Like, does she not go over this before she get on TV? She's gone on a tour for her new book. Who in the will read her book about what? And let me tell y'all a little secret. Most people have ghostwriters. It's not really Kamala Harris really sitting down and really thinking this through and writing a book and giving her emotions. They have a ghostwriter that write their entire book. Many of these people probably have never even read the book. So she's going out here to make some money, right? And it gets worse and worse every time she talks. Now, the most embarrassing thing I have seen on the internet so far, and the biggest hypocritical statement that I've ever seen from Kamala Neepad Harris, is this very thing she's about to say. How do you still speak in circles and with word salads after what you've been through, Kamala? Roll the clip.
If his reaction to that since this part of the book has come out, if you've had any reflection on that, or I guess I'd ask you to just elaborate on that a little bit. It's hard to hear.
Yeah.
With you running as, you're the first woman elected vice president. You're a Black woman and a South Asian woman elected to that high office, very nearly elected president. To say that he couldn't be on the ticket effectively because he was gay, it's hard to hear.
No, that's not what I said. That he couldn't be on the ticket because he is gay. My point, as I write in the book, is that I was clear that in 107 days, in one of the most hotly contested elections for president of the United States, against someone like Donald Trump who knows no floor, to be a Black woman running for president of the United States and as a vice presidential running mate, a gay man, with the stakes being so high, it made me very sad, but I also realized it would be a real risk.
Hello.
No matter...
I can't believe these people. Like, is nobody coaching her? Like, does she not go over this before she get on TV? The Fed has finally dropped interest rates, and that's great news for American homeowners. Expenses have been major burdens on the family. Wages have been flat. Prices keep climbing. And for many, the only way that you can make ends meet is leaning on credit cards. But that cycle has high interest debt, making it hard to stay ahead. If you're a homeowner, I want you to call my friends at American Financing right now. Interest rates have dropped. Many homeowners are seeing options in the low 5s compared to credit card charges rates that are in the 20s or higher. There's an easy path to see how.
PostNL-punt onderweg. Even langs naar je boodschappen. Handig zeg. Zoals Aisha hier, naar haar favoriete punt. Of heeft ze het op je gedaan? Bepaal zelf wat handig is voor jou. Bijvoorbeeld bij een door jou gekozen PostNL-punt.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
They set it up in a way that, like, okay, you're saying something that's actually factually inaccurate according to the narrative. Now, let's be real clear. I don't necessarily think they know what's going on yet. There's a lot of weird shit going on with this.
I know.
First of all, there was that one guy who was the decoy. All right, so you got this guy who's an older guy who starts yelling out. Didn't he take his pants down? Took his pants down. This guy was at 9/11. He was at the Boston bombing.
All the hits.
He called in a fake bomb at another place, and then he did this at this thing. So somehow or another, this guy has the state of mind that the moment someone gets shot, he yells out and says, I did it, and takes his pants down or something like that. I don't know exactly what he did. Then, ready for this? He gets arrested for child porn right away.
Right after this happened?
Oh, right away. He's in jail for child porn. Why is that? Well, now you can't interview him.
Right, right.
And because when the internet people start going, how are you at all these different things? Like, what are the odds? Like, if someone ran it through one of the ChatGPT fucking perplexity things, like, what are the odds that this guy would be at all those different events and be involved? Like, 0.
This is the guy?
Yeah.
I just like that the pants down part is just insane. I'm
not saying I did it. Listen, I'm not saying this guy isn't insane. He's clearly insane.
Yeah.
Or not. Or he's professionally insane.
Right.
That's where it gets squirrely.
I almost texted you when the Charlie Kirk thing happened because my antennas went up about. They showed the photo of that kid, the guy that they have, 22-year-old.
Yeah.
Whatever. And I was almost going to be like, dude. Do you think he's got the capability to do that?
Yeah, well, listen, there are people that look like that have the capability to do that.
Pretty accurate.
Nope. No? Not hard. Not hard at all. Let me dispel that. Okay. 200 yards from a prone position with a dead-on rifle. So if you have a dead-on rifle, so you set this rifle, you set your 0 to 200 yards, right? You know how far you're going to shoot. It is not hard at all.
He shot a lot?
You don't have to shoot a lot. I could do it tomorrow.
If you're but you are experienced. If it's someone that's never shot, could they do it?
100%. Not if they've never shot. They wouldn't know where to look. They'd have a hard time acquiring the like when you look through a scope, like with the reticle is weird. Like it sometimes
takes a minute.
You got to know the distance that you have to be from it to really line it up in your sights. But you could get a guy like my friend Andy Stump, who's a sniper in the SEALs. You could get him, and he could show you how to do it in an afternoon, and then you could hit steel at 200 yards every time you pull the trigger.
One day you could learn.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. Not that hard.
Because it feels insane to me. I'm like, seems tough.
It seems tough. We still haven't figured out whether or not the gun that shot Trump had a sight on it. Because we weren't sure if it had a sight on it or if this guy was using iron sights. That was 140 yards. If you shot it with iron sights, that's a lot harder. Because iron sights is you're lining up, so you have these two things in the back and there's one thing at the front of the barrel, and you got to line those bitches up perfectly, and that's how you stay accurate. That is a lot harder to do.
It's like old shotguns have those, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Pistols.
Yeah,
like
pistols.
You buy a Glock, that's what it comes with.
Right.
But this kid had a rifle with a scope. Now, here's where it gets weird. The first images of this rifle with a scope, I swear to God, it looks like he has a composite stock on it. Like it looks like a modern 30-06 rifle. So a 30-06, so that's the rifle. 30-06 is like, that looks like a very modern looking stock. I mean, it might not be. It might be just a bad resolution. It might be wood. It's hard to tell. But if you showed me that and you said, hey, this is my cousin's rifle, is this any good? I'd be like, looks like a standard bolt action rifle, looks like a sophisticated modern scope on it. Sure. Now, apparently, the narrative is that this is his grandfather's rifle from World War I and doesn't have a serial code.
You think you can defy me?
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. Why? Wait. Why are you using such an old gun? Like, that's kind of crazy. Like, is it possible that an old gun can be that accurate? if you have a gunsmith and they work on it, yeah, it's totally possible. If you have a really good gunsmith and he sets, if you're like a nostalgic person, you like driving an old car, you can bring it to a mechanic, they could redo the brakes.
Sure.
So if you got a good gunsmith and he took a look at that and the action was true and, you know, the bolt, the bore is good, you know, yeah, you could conceivably shoot with a gun for hundreds of years, right? Guns they don't necessarily go bad.
Right, they don't expire.
Right, and especially because all the stuff, like the trigger and the action and all that different stuff is replaceable, so you can just, like, it's compartmentalized, it's components. That's the other thing. They said
Nyla.
took it apart and then put it
Stop
back
daarmee.
together again.
Net het stofzuigen, niet
Shut
zo?
the fuck up. Do you know how much time it would take to do that if you were highly skilled?
To disassemble a gun.
To disassemble a rifle so that you can get it in a backpack. And by the way, not going to fit. Not going to fit.
In a backpack.
And then somehow or another reconnects it once he gets off the roof. What? What's that about?
Is that what they pitched, huh?
Yeah. And then he's supposed to get it in that stupid fucking backpack. It's literally, it makes no sense.
And the elevator music was a nice touch, by the way.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
So this is just a narrative, right? We watch a guy jump off the roof, and then we supposedly find this rifle. So if you can have a guy that's in the audience that's yelling, "I shot him, now shoot me. I shot him, now shoot me," and then that guy gets arrested for child porn charges, like what is what going on here?
So
and then you find this rifle, and then you say, "Oh, he assembled it and he reassembled it." Like, okay. If I wish I was a cop, I'd sit there and like, this story is horseshit. Like, none of these things make any sense to me. Like, you're telling me that this kid who's not military trained, this guy, first of all, how did he get to the roof? How come nobody was looking? How come nobody was like, there's a direct line of sight between where he's sitting and those roofs? You guys didn't check? You don't have a drone? Like, that's insane. So he's on the roof, he shoots, he jumps from the roof. He jumps down 14 feet.
Yeah, we saw didn't they have video of him jump? Somebody had a cell phone video of him jumping.
There's a video of him jumping. So this guy, whoever it is, jumps off of the roof and lands, whether or not he's even the guy who shot him. Maybe he thought he was going to shoot him. Maybe he's a patsy. Maybe he did it.
I feel like he's a plant. Did you see the video? Did you see the person doing the investigating on his mom's Facebook?
No.
You haven't seen this? Have you seen that, Jamie? Some dude online.
His mom's got a weird Facebook.
It's very trippy. It doesn't make any sense. Like, the more they keep looking into it, the more they're like, this doesn't feel like a real... It feels super fabricated.
But here's the thing. Just like I was talking about when people are arguing on social media, it's all part of the plan. If you want things to be...
Oh, I wanted it so bad. Buckets.
If you want people to lose all faith that anyone is going to solve anything, you add a bunch of... If you're going to kill a guy, you add a bunch of other wacky shit that doesn't make any sense, and you spam it out there at the same time. You leave a gun that didn't do it out in the woods. You do a bunch of shit like that.
Have an old man put his dick out and yell, I did it, I did it.
Yeah, you get some kid who his boyfriend is a furry, and you talk to him on Discord. I think he's a furry. I don't want to disrespect.
I don't know if that's a real thing.
His boyfriend's definitely a guy who became a girl.
And wears furry stuff.
I think they do furry sex. Or furry games. Excuse me. My apologies. I don't want to disrespect the furry sex
Shout
or
out to the furry community. Yeah.
Bro, shout out to the furries, because me and Duncan.
Zo, je eerste dag supermarktmanager? Zijn we net begonnen met de winkeltjesactie. Met die leuke minis. Ken je die nog?
Als ik die ken. Nou, ik weet wel wat jij later wil worden.
T-shirtje erbij.
Talk about gay pride, like this
I don't have the same take as the rest of the panel when it comes to the idea of legislating morality. I think that there are ideas which are subversive and that we can get rid of, and that's absolutely fine to do. I don't think that we need to have unfettered access to pornography. I don't think that we need to have unfettered access to children being introduced to this type of sexuality so young. I don't think that that's necessary at all. I don't think it's an impingement on free speech at all.
Andrew Wilson went on Piers Morgan uncensored and absolutely annihilated a couple of woke soy boys, as Andrew Wilson normally does when he goes on Piers Morgan's show. But this one was so bad that it did leave Piers Morgan pretty stunned, pretty shocked, and also obviously leaving the woke soy boys shocked here. Let's get into this clip where Andrew Wilson absolutely annihilates an entire panel of woke idiots here live on Piers Morgan Uncensored.
With it. But for an adolescent, like these young kids, I'm seeing kids at dinners when we're at restaurant surfing TikTok while their parents are not even paying attention to what they're doing. Like that right there is a massive problem. And if we don't, as a society, get a hold of that, then this will never end. There will be more series like Adolescence that hit even harder because we're witnessing it in our own lives.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew, you seem to be in agreement with some of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's poison. There's no doubt. It re-scrambles children's brains, and it's very difficult to monitor. Even if you have parental controls, they can find ways around it. At school, they have, peers who will assist them in getting around it. You have to monitor it really well. Smartphone technology for my own kids, it was kind of new. I wish that I, in retrospect, had done more guarding against that myself. You don't know the dangers of that technology until children get a hold of it, and then you're left scrambling going, oh man, I wish I had known that this was going on or that was going on, but you have no idea. Now, though, we have a little bit of retrospect, and we know that it's an appropriate thing to do to guide against this type of technology because, yeah, he's absolutely right. It does create all sorts of problems for kids. I'm not sure that gets to the heart of the masculinity and feminine issue, but I totally agree with him that we should be safeguarding our children against this technology. It does seem to be very bad for them.
And James, there is pretty well unfettered pornography on the internet available to young men and women, obviously, but men are watching a lot of often quite violent, degrading sexual scenes in the porn clips they're seeing online. None of that can help in the way an impressionable.
Yeah, it's no doubt it's detrimental to society, but especially detrimental to younger, children's minds. What's crazy is this is the topic of this, right? This is the topic, and you guys know I don't pre-watch these, but this is the topic, and you know that people are going to hardcore disagree with Andrew Wilson's take that this stuff is bad for children and bad for people in general. It's no doubt detrimental to society. There's no arguing that this stuff is detrimental to society. I don't know how anyone could argue that possibly.
The young male mind goes about trying to forge a real relationship with an actual woman.
Well, I think it's important not to say young male mind is any person's mind, right? Like, I don't think we should victimize men. I can't believe Andrew's agreeing with me. But yeah, it's awful. I mean, I genuinely don't think people should have phones until they're 16. They certainly shouldn't have.
Well, Australia's done that, and I'm not against it.
Yeah.
Smartphone ban until 16.
I mean, it's terrifying.
Why not?
You can't go on air on TV and say whatever you want. Like, I know you're pretending that you're uncensored, but you couldn't sit here and say literally whatever you want. Well, not really, Piers, because if you said something that incited hatred or racism or a terror attack,
I wouldn't want to say that.
Arrested.
I wouldn't
online.
Why would I want to incite?
I'm not saying that you want to. I'm just trying to make a point. Online.
You're saying I can't say what I want.
Online.
I do not want to incite a terror attack.
But if you did,
I'm allowed. Just you're raising an interesting point about censorship.
Yeah.
We're uncensored because I don't say anything I don't want to say.
Right.
So when you say I'm censoring, I'm actually self-censoring. I'm not. I'm not going to call for a terror attack.
I'm not saying that you would ever do that, of course, but I'm saying that if you did, there would be accountability for that because you are broadcasting to a lot of people.
Right.
But a lot of people online do not have that gate stopping them from saying horrendous things, and so therefore it can blow up online, excuse the horrible pun, and that shouldn't be allowed. There should be a system in place that stops people broadcasting things that aren't meant to be broadcast to millions of people.
One of the problems, Tommy, Toby Young, who's a British journalist, director of Free Speech Union, very, very big in promoting and defending free speech, says Adolescence, the new teen drama, is pro-censorship propaganda, partly paid for by the state, but is now being seized upon by Labour left-wing MPs as evidence we need more online censorship. And that is, of course, you talk about a swinging pendulum. What you don't want to come out of all this is an overreaction and an over-censorship, because that in itself becomes a problem.
Hoi, ik ben Soraya, stylist en ik hou van klussen.
Jeetje.
Samen met Praxis ga ik iedere week een ruimte in huis een makeover geven. Met 5 plustips in 1 weekend laten we jou zien dat een makeover niet veel tijd, geld of moeite hoeft te kosten.
En dit is bizar mooi.
Want welke klus je ook aanpakt, wij zijn er om je te helpen. Welkom bij de Weekend Makeover. ben vandaag in het Gelderlandse Zoelen en ik ga Natalia dit weekend helpen met een makeover. Samen gaan we aan de slag om haar woonkamer om te toveren tot een warme, gezellige ruimte. Het wordt een flinke klus, maar samen met Natalia ga ik dit in 1 weekend realiseren. Ik heb er zin in, dus let's go! Nou Natalia, staan we dan? Ja. Woonkamer, wat een prachtige ruimte.
Ja, mooi hè? Ik ben Natalia, ik ben 29 jaar. Ik woon hier samen met mijn man Maurice en onze hond Kira. En we wonen hier nu ongeveer iets langer dan een jaar.
Hey, en waar loop je dan nu tegenaan?
Het was eigenlijk een beetje ouderwets toen wij hier kwamen. Het was ook helemaal wit en met zwart-rode meubels toen wij dit zagen. Maar toch lopen we er nog steeds tegenaan dat we het een beetje een ratje toe vinden. En nog steeds niet helemaal wat we mooi vinden. Wij houden heel erg een beetje van die boerderij landelijke sfeer, maar wel met lichte tinten. Onze hond loopt overal. Ze gaat bij ons niet op de bank, maar ze heeft nu een eigen oranje stoel en een mandje. Dus het is heel leuk als zij in de woonkamer een eigen plekje heeft.
Nou, ik kan je vertellen dat we aardig wat om gaan gooien. Maar stijl wil ik wel de kleur een beetje aanhouden. Warm. Die kleur.
Mooi.
Het is wel heel licht, maar wel warm. En ook echt wel een beetje die beach vibe. Ik ga ook nog met hout werken, want ik zie her en der al hout. We hebben 2 dagen. En je gaat mij zeker helpen, want we gaan aardig wat doen. Dus laten we aan de slag gaan. Ja, kom maar op. Vandaag ga ik shoppen voor de woonkamer van Natalia. En allereerst ga ik de verf en het behang uitzoeken. De woonkamer wil ik vooral met naturellen werken. Maar wel in verschillende structuren en tinten, zodat er echt een mooie balans ontstaat. Ja, hier word ik toch echt wel heel erg blij van. Bamboe rolgordijn. Nou, ook nog in het wit. Ik heb nu hout nodig. Ik ga namelijk voor de hond een hele leuke DIY maken. Namelijk een hondenmand. En daarnaast heb ik ook nog hout nodig voor de kastenwand die ik heb ontworpen. Ja, dit is echt wel de perfecte plaats voor de haardombouw. Ja, dan moet ik wel even een andere kant voor pakken. Maar het gaat super mooi worden. Heel veel zin in.
Yeah, 100%. And I agree with Sean on this point too. I think parenting has more to do with this than any of us really, can even understand. I mean, many I'm sure in this panel can, but parenting is to me the end all be all of all of this. I mean, you can watch horrible things online. You can listen to people say horrible things, but if you've got a good foundation with good parents at home, hopefully too, that provides you with a lot of guidance and support to navigate these things. And it doesn't really, scramble your mind in the way that those that are not blessed with a 2-parent household may be impacted by it. I don't believe that censorship is ever the answer. I believe that more speech is the answer to speech that you don't like. And as much as I don't like certain people online and what they say, whether they're the Tate brothers or whoever else, I believe that they should have the right and the ability to say it. And then people like us should have the right and ability to respond to it. I think that's the healthiest way to come to a great consensus, or at least a public square where we can all debate ideas with dialogue and conversation. But I don't think that censorship is ever the answer. And I think that, our leaders in America have done a great job of emphasizing that, especially to the European countries who believe censorship is the way to cleanse or the way to legislate morality. I just don't think that's the way to do it.
Well, instinctively, I don't think that's the way to do it either. I'm curious to see what you guys think in the comments on what we should do about this issue, because I'm sure at least 90% of you guys agree that this type of content that they're talking about is detrimental to society. There's really just no doubt about it. And I'm curious to see what you guys think the answer is, because I don't think it's censorship. I don't think just take it off, and don't allow anybody to do it, because not even that would be necessarily a bad thing, but anytime you do that, it's just going to create like a black market effect. And that things are going to get even more worse, even more vile. There's probably going to be, I hate to say this, I don't even know if I'm allowed to, but it's probably going to be like more children involved and things like that. And you don't want that to happen. What I think needs to happen is just more shame in society. Shame for participating in it, shame for watching it, consuming it, all that type of stuff. More shame needs to go against that whole genre of entertainment, that whole genre of content. I think it just needs to be a shame thing. It's kind of like what happened with cigarettes. They didn't ban cigarettes. It's just you're kind of shamed now for smoking cigarettes. Like, people look at you and they're like, you smoke cigarettes? Like, that's pretty gross. I think the same thing just needs to happen with that type of content. It needs to be a societal, cultural shift. And right now, it's shifting, but it's positively. Like it's shifting in an accepting way. Like, oh, you watch that stuff? Oh, that's fine, no problem. Oh, you make that type of content? That's awesome. How much money did you make? That's so great. It needs to be shamed more. And I know people are going to say, oh, it's shamed all the time on social media. It's not shamed enough, obviously. If the number, like, I actually looked up the numbers for this, and it's like something like 2.2 million women are on OnlyFans, like active content creators on OnlyFans. That's a lot of women. That's a lot. And that's a problem. So it's not being shamed enough.
Yeah, certainly in the UK, for a long time now, many years, has been to censor and to ban and prohibit and so on. And I think people are beginning to wake up to the downside of that, is that once you chip away at things like freedom of speech, freedom of expression, you're heading down a pretty slippery road, which can be dictated by your government. And then that's not...
It's interesting though, isn't it? I mean, I just want to make a side point, and I don't need to get into it, but like your government are banning books. So they are literally talking about free speech whilst also banning free speech in it that they don't agree with. So what you're saying is nice, and I agree with you in principle, but that's not literally what is happening.
They're not banning books, dumbass. They're not banning books. Who is banning books? Like, it's so funny how they play these mental gymnastics games where it's like, your government is banning, but no, they're not banning books, dude. That's like saying the government is banning guns because they don't allow guns to be brought into elementary schools. No, they're not banning guns, dumbass. They're not letting, like Tommy Lauren just said, you know, I can't say it again, but you heard what she said. They're not letting those types of books into schools. That's not banning books. Why are we playing dumb? Why are we playing like we're stupid? We can't understand basic common sense. Just because you don't allow guns into elementary schools doesn't mean that guns are banned in the United States. Not how it works.
Same as banning books.
You talked about freedom of speech, right? And everyone coming together and having a discussion about it.
Oh my God.
But that's not what's happening.
Yeah, but
Putting graphic gay porn into children's libraries is a little different.
I mean, no one should be putting porn into a children's library. I think we all agree on that.
Then why are you complaining that that's being
Because that's not what I'm discussing. I'm discussing books that talk about diversity, equality, that talk about Black Lives Matter, that talk about gay pride. Like, this is...
So I don't have the same take as the rest of the panel when it comes to the idea of legislating morality. I think that there are ideas which are subversive and that we can get rid of, and that's absolutely fine to do. I don't think that we need to have unfettered access to pornography. I don't think that we need to have unfettered access to children being introduced to this type of sexuality so young. I don't think that that's necessary at all. I don't think it's an impingement on free speech at all. And not only that, there's going to necessarily be limits on every single freedom that we have. By necessity, that's the way it has to be, unfortunately. And the reason it has to be that way is because otherwise you're going to have nothing but subversives who go in and subvert your entire culture, which is exactly what happened in the UK, and it's exactly what's been happening in the United States. So we have to have some way to fight back against that.
All right, Sean, final word to you.
I mean, Andrew Wilson just absolutely cooked the guy. No doubt about it. I mean, I can't disagree with anything that Andrew Wilson just said. It's ridiculous to say that. I feel like he just said that for the sake of argument. I feel like Piers Morgan got in his ear or something like that. And he's like, hey, you guys are agreeing too much. You got to say something stupid to spark some argument. Because there's no way that he genuinely believes that not allowing that type of stuff into schools is banning books. There is no way. It's not even close to the same thing. You know, it's like they're not banning, like the government hasn't I don't know. Do we even have to go into it? Like everybody knows that was the most ridiculous statement that I've heard from Piers Morgan, you know. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about Andrew Wilson shutting this idiot down for that ridiculous statement here live on Piers Morgan Uncensored.
We zijn enorm trots dat dit talent een contract weer opschreef.
Daar wil ik werktalent voor bedanken. Anders zou ik deze baan nooit gevonden.
Zoek jij een baan in de techniek, logistiek of industrie? Ga naar werktalent.com voor lokaal werk dat bij je past.
You see Newsom completely changed the way he's campaigning. Completely changed the way that he's campaigning. Rob, can you go to his Twitter account first? Let's kind of go through his Twitter account. And by the way, believe it or not, this is helping him. It's bringing eyeballs to his Twitter account. It's not like it's not working. So he's put this up there saying the Patriot Shop is now open. Look at the hats that he's got. It's literally everything that Trump does, he copied. Newsom was right about everything. That's Trump's hat that he was wearing just last week. Trump is not hot, a real patriot. Newsom, 2026, even though he's not running in 2026, he's talking about the midterms. Go a little bit lower. One by one, he's taking shots at everybody, okay? One by one. He said, we just sold $100,000 worth of material. This is what Donald Trump was what? What does he say? Donald Trump was president during the last census. Okay, so he's talking about the census. Every chance he gets, whether it's him, his team, or somebody doing it, is calling him out. So the question becomes, is it working? Is it not working? Here's what Harry Enten has to say with data. And by the way, we report whether we like the news or not. We're reporting it for you. So go ahead and play this clip.
Up 450% in terms of the number of followers since mid-June. And it's not just on Twitter, X, where Newsom is gaining. Even on TikTok and Instagram, his followers are up over 1 million since January alone. My goodness gracious. And more than that, Laurel, more than that. What about Google? What about those Google searches for him? Get this, daily Google searches for Gavin Newsom up like a rocket. What are we talking about? Since June 1, up 1,300%. Compared to August 1st, look at that, up 500%. So the bottom line is, in politics, especially if you're thinking of entering in 2028, it's all about generating attention. And so far, Gavin Newsom has done a good job at generating attention.
Yeah.
The Democrats want it. Do Democrats want it? Okay.
Do Democrats want it? Of course they do.
What do you mean?
Like, do Democrats want it? They wanted Gavin Newsom. Yeah, because they're freaking stupid. Look at...
They're not stupid, Penny. They're not. We don't need to.
Well, no,
we have friends that are
just being
Democrats. We have friends that are... What they are is... Okay.
If they keep voting for
but we can't call them stupid. Like, we can't tell people they're stupid. Like, there are people that are born in a certain way and they become Democrats. Okay? You know, like, I'm sitting there right now and I'm watching this video, Vinny, which is about parenting. And I'm going to play the clip here in a few minutes. I didn't even find a way to go to it. I just want to make sure we're not going out there calling all these guys dumb, stupid, all this other stuff. Bruno Mars just went down. She's the spouse of one of our guys, ex-spouse of one of our guys. And we're sitting there, and we're asking her. She's a diehard AOC person. This lady can't stand it. She doesn't like it at all, okay? Everything that happened, she's pushing the guy away from it, okay? So I said, let me ask you, when you were in school, were you a English person, literature person, or were you a science person? Were you a math person? I hated math. Really? What did you like? I love English and I love journalism. I like writing. Fantastic. What else did you like? Did you like chemistry? Did you like physics? Hated it. What did you like? Like I told you, writing is what I like. English is what I like. Okay. I watched this video that's talking about parenting. I learned, whether we like it or not, people are born a certain way. Some people are more cutthroat. Some people are more logical. Some people are more emotional. Okay? They're not stupid. They're born that way. I've come to the conclusion. Trust me, they're not stupid. You are born that way. I run an insurance company. I'm watching everybody. We come out with announcements. It's the right announcement. But somebody says, that's not fair to those people. That's not fair to that person. And typically the that's not fair was to the people that are not working the hardest and they're just kind of wanting everything to be easy. So it is not a stupid thing. Believe it or not, we're trying to force these people to change. They're emotionally more caught up by the feeling. The question I got for you is, do you think the approach he's taken, Newsom, Vinny?
Yeah.
1,000% up, June.
Yeah.
500% up, August. 450% up activity on social media.
Let's do this.
Do you think this is going to work for him to be the leading candidate for 2028?
Yeah.
You think he's going to?
Because I called it that he's going to be the front runner for the 2028. I don't think. I know Tom's JB Pritzker with the money and I get that angle. And you know what? And you're actually right. I don't think that they're stupid. What's the word, Pat? If you're just blind, loyal to the party, meaning, and you're right. You're right about what. I don't think that they're all stupid. I take that back. What do you call a person that is just loyal to the party but sees the crime, the border, the lying? They know exactly who he is, but they're still going to vote for this guy because it's not the other side. What would you call them? You know what I mean? Instead of stupid,
Yeah.
What do you call somebody that knows that the ship is sinking and they're still going to jump on the ship because the ship has their name on it, has their group's name?
This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. Because there's a lot of other clips. Rob, can you find a couple of the clips from Newsom? The old mayor interview when he didn't want to talk about anything or walked away.
You know, there's a couple clips I'll show you about Newsom. That's just embarrassing. And it's so old. I don't even know who sent it yesterday. Was it
I think it was me. It was me.
What a great clip you sent.
This is when he was mayor.
Yeah. So there's a couple of them. There's 3 clips. There's a debate moment. There's that clip. We have to see it. But you know, Vinny, this is what it is. This is what it is. Do you think there are people that if we get the worst Republican candidate ever, criminal, terrible guy, horrible human being, they're still going to vote Republican?
Yes.
Yes. What percentage?
90%.
Of the current Republicans?
Like, are going to vote for somebody.
What do you think, Tom? What would you say?
So people that are dyed in the wool that don't cross.
No matter what, they're going to vote Republican, and no matter what, they're going to vote Democrat.
My understanding is that there's 24% on the GOP side and about 27% of the total voting on the Dem side that will stay red or blue no matter what.
No, so that's a no matter what, right? So you know what conclusion I've come up with?
That's what you're asking.
That's what I'm asking. Yeah. The conclusion, I actually put it at 40-44, okay, give or take. 40%
That's party affiliation, but you're asking me for the no matter what?
Yeah, so you're right. And let's qualify both.
Okay, that's
party affiliation, 40 Republican no matter what, 44 Democrat no matter what, okay?
Yeah.
So when you look at these two things and you say, well, what's wrong with you? What's this? What's that? I'm telling you, I'm going to show you this clip by this doctor that's going to break it down. You're trying to change people. You can't. You're not going to change this 40. You're not going to change this 44. They're going to drive you insane. The only if you truly want to make change in the world.
Yep.
And it's taken me 46 years old, having worked with so many different personalities. You're literally only dealing with 15 to 20% of people that you're talking to. Everybody else, it doesn't matter what you say. You're not changing them.
Yeah.
You're dealing with 15 to 20% of people. The 40 and 44% that ever change on both sides, it's because someone offended them, somebody from their own party let them down.
Yep.
Like if you're seeing right now, hardcore conservative, pro-Zionist, pro-Jewish, all of a sudden hardcore anti, what happened? You got offended, somebody did this, and guess what? There's nothing you can do about it. You're not going to change that guy, you're not going to change that girl. It's just not going to happen, right? Or a massive crisis happens in their life. Death in the family, the betrayal, some kind of a letdown, some kind of a chaotic situation. So my focus has been trying to talk to the people in the middle that will sit there and say, well, I didn't know that. That really exactly what happened? Yeah. So to me, what I think with what Newsom is doing, this is the case study on how I'm looking at this now. I'm looking at this, okay, go to 2027, 2028.
Perfect catch.
All of these videos are going to recirculate. Rob, play any one of them that you have, okay? Yeah. Play which one? Okay, this is the interview. By the way, it's uncomfortable to watch it, okay? It's uncomfortable to watch. Keep going until it starts. All right, watch this here. Starts from here. Right off the bat, watch what he tries to do. He's a mayor here. I don't know what the year is. This could be 06-ish.
Het zijn niet auto's die voor verandering zorgen. Het zijn mensen. Zoals jij. Dus waar je ook bent op de reis naar elektrisch rijden. Wij zijn er voor je. See you there. Fastnet.
I've had a lot of people ask me about what happened to Charlie Kirk and theories over what's really going on. And there are a lot of questions. I don't think we know exactly what's happening, and I don't think it is wrong for people to be inquisitive. There are several videos, notably the one that I have displayed, where they're claiming this man has a palm gun. The palm guns are things, they exist, but I'm going to go ahead and say no. The first thing I want to say to everybody as it pertains to this story is, in the absence of evidence, the solution that makes the least amount of assumptions tends to be correct. That is Occam's razor. Now, when I look at all of these different theories over the alternative story as to what really happened to Charlie Kirk, none of it makes sense, and it is a cluster. But I will also add, The official story that we're being given, I'd argue, is also lacking in information, which you would expect. I'm not saying is evidence of anything. Absence of evidence is not evidence of something. But I would say that there are questions around what we are looking at in this official story. That is to say, a few points. The official transcript of the communication between the alleged shooter and his boyfriend seems by any reasonable mind to be scripted. Literally every political faction thinks so, even MAGA. Now, the liberals are putting out these memes where they claim that MAGA just wholly believes it outright. Well, I'll just point out, Matt Wall said this right away. It looks like it was scripted, just like in Breaking Bad, as though the shooter wrote this to create some kind of, I don't know, indemnification or exculpatory evidence
Sign up on the spot.
boyfriend when this goes to trial. That is, the boyfriend, if ever charged,
Hello heroes, I'm going to show you where to find a real-eyed green. This video helps you. If you like it, leave a silly comment for the algorithm and don't subscribe to me. Okay, here's the fishing spot right here. Let's restart. There's the fishing spot. Now, you're not going to catch the fish right away. I've already tried about 15 times, haven't caught it yet. I know it's in this spot. So, if you run out of fish like I have already, what you want to do actually is they respawn every 10 minutes. So in this cave, sorry, wrong button. In this cave right here is a save point. So before you start fishing, go to this cave, save, come back, and then start fishing. If you don't catch it, reload your save and do it again because the fish are random. So it doesn't matter unless you want to keep all your fish or wait 10 minutes. Okay, so that's what I'm going to start doing. Okay, I finally caught the fish, the wild-eyed bream or whatever it's called. I'll be honest, I think I stopped counting around 50 tries. So I caught about 50 fish, over 50 fish, before I finally caught it. And, I don't have any footage of it because I stopped recording because my footage was too long. And so I don't have any footage of me catching it, but I did catch it at this spot. Okay, so if you need to get the fish, that's where you got to go. Okay, so if this video helped you, please like it, leave a silly comment for the algorithm, and don't subscribe to me.
Resorting to violence.
I believe this is really the moment that has forever affected Destiny's career. Andrew Wilson asked a single question.
I got one question for you, and I want you to actually answer it. Are you glad Charlie Kirk is dead?
No, I don't think anybody in this country should be dying to political violence. It's insane. The past 5 years in this country has been crazy. But the reality is until conservative...
So then why did you say to your co-host that Trump is not conservative?
Andrew came prepared. He knew exactly what he wanted to ask him. He did the research, and he's ready to go.
Why did you say to your co-host that the best place for the bullet was Trump? Why did you say that?
Why did Donald Trump call it?
What about ism? What about ism? I'm asking you a question. I can't be what about ism. It's my question, Destiny.
Why won't Donald Trump
answer the question? Right, why don't you say that?
Bruce Morgan knows that Destiny's trapped here.
Ask the question, then you answer it, okay? Andrew.
No, I want to hear the other side.
Let him ask the question. Let him ask the question, Destiny, and then you answer it.
Just keeps the train on the tracks and we need an answer. Even then, watch what happens.
Andrew. Destiny told his co-host, if he wanted the bullet to kill Trump, that the worst thing that could have happened was the bullet missing. He said this to Pisco. I watched it, okay? This guy's an obfuscation machine. And you know what else, Destiny? Why should we believe you? I think you are glad Kirk is dead. And all of your tweets seem to prove that. And you would have been happy if Trump was assassinated. You've made that very clear. So why not just be truthful for once in your fucking life and say the truth? That you don't care that Kirk is dead, and you're actually probably glad he is. Isn't that really what's true?
And this is where it just goes off the rails. Because the focus is now on this question. There's no escape.
I don't want anybody in this country to die to political violence. I don't think in the United States of America that should be happening.
Then why did you say the bullet should have hit Trump?
The Republican president of the United States, who has presided over more violence politically in this country, more large protests than any president in all of U.S. history, for some reason can't bring himself to say, all of us need to calm down. And
So
until
did
that
Trump
happens,
deserve
there's
the
no
bullet?
reason for him to say it.
Did Trump
This is
deserve
what
the
you-
bullet?
This is all you care about are the political hate
Just
jobs.
answer the question, bro. Did Trump deserve the bullet?
Did Donald Trump
Did he deserve
about
the
violence
bullet?
on his side ever? Did Donald Trump
Answer the
deserve
question.
violence?
Did Trump deserve the
What do you
bullet?
think? You can't answer the question.
This is one of those common reflection techniques where it's holding up a mirror in the hope of deflecting valid incoming criticism, just trying to bounce it back on them as a way to evade.
Hey, you can't answer the question. We're here to play.
No, bro, it's my turn to ask the question. It's your turn to answer.
It's
Did
YouTube video
Trump deserve
clips,
the
and
bullet?
did Trump disavow violence in this country ever?
He knows what everyone is feeling towards him, so then he just starts throwing that at everyone else. When you're dealing with a narcissist, you will often see this. We describe that kind of as gaslighting now, but it's more just like holding up a mirror in the hope of deflecting. See, you can't answer the question, as you are literally evading the question.
Did he deserve the bullet? Yes, he's
Answer my question, I'll answer you.
But again, I just did. Now your turn. Now your turn. It's your turn.
Then
Trump
no,
deserved the
I never said that. No, I never said that. No.
This is interesting here because he knows he's lying and he's kind of doing it tongue in cheek. He knows the audience knows that he's lying.
Then no, I never said that. No, I never said that. No.
Then no. Then I'm gonna lie. If you're gonna lie, I'm gonna lie. It's just another way of avoiding truth.
Okay, except you did to your fellow heroes. I'm gonna. Already tried about 15 times. Haven't caught it yet. I know it's a fishing spot now. You're not gonna catch.
You ask him. He did the research and he's ready to go.
Why did you say to your co-host that the best place for the bullet was Trump? Why did you say that?
Why did Donald Trump?
It's what about his? What about his? I'm asking you a question. I can't be what about his? It's my question, Destiny.
Why won't Donald Trump
Answer the question.
All right, why don't we do this? Why don't we do this?
Piers Morgan knows that Destiny's trapped here.
Ask the question, then you answer it, okay? Andrew.
No, I want to hear the answer.
Let him ask the question.
Donald Trump.
Let him ask the question, Destiny, and then you answer it.
Piers keeps the train on the tracks. We need an answer. And even then, watch what happens.
Andrew, Destiny told his co-host when asked point blank if he wanted the bullet to kill Trump, that the worst thing that could have happened was the bullet missing. He said this to Pisco. I watched it. Okay, this guy is an obfuscation machine. And if you know what else, Destiny, why should we believe you? I think you are glad Kirk is dead. And all of your tweets seem to prove that. And you would have been happy if Trump was assassinated. You've made that very clear. So why not just be truthful for once in your fucking life and say the truth? That you don't care that Kirk is dead, and you're actually probably glad he is. Isn't that really what's true?
And this is where it just goes off the rails. Because the focus is now.
Hey, Ryan.
Wat is dit dan? Ik heb hier 5 cadeaus.
And this is where it just goes off the rails.
Are we going to make it?
And this is where it just goes off the rails. Because the focus is now on this question. There's no escape.
I don't want anybody in this country to die to political violence. I don't think in the United States of America that should be happening.
Then why did you say the bullet should have hit Trump?
The Republican president of the United States, who has presided over more violence politically in this country, more large protests than any president in all of U.S. history, for some reason can't bring himself to say, all of us need to calm down. And
So did Trump deserve the bullet? Did Trump deserve the bullet?
This is all you care about are the political hate
Just answer the question, bro. Did Trump deserve the bullet?
Did Donald Trump
Did he deserve
disavow
the
violence
bullet?
on his side ever? Did Donald Trump
Answer the question. Did Trump deserve the bullet?
You can't answer the question.
This is one of those common reflection techniques where it's holding up a mirror in the hope of deflecting valid incoming criticism and just trying to bounce it back on them as a way to evade.
Hey, you can't answer the question. We're here to play.
No, bro, it's my turn to ask the question. It's your turn to answer.
It's
Did
YouTube video
Trump deserve
clips.
the
And
bullet?
did Trump disavow violence in this country ever?
He knows what everyone is feeling towards him, so then he just starts throwing that at everyone else. When you're dealing with a narcissist, you will often see this. We describe that kind of as gaslighting now, but it's more just like holding up a mirror in the hope of deflecting. See, you can't answer the question, as you are literally evading the question.
Did he deserve the bullet? Yes, he's
Answer my question. I went to you.
Again, I just did. Now your turn. Now your turn. Trump deserved the bullet.
I never said that. No, I never said that. No.
This is interesting here because he knows he's lying and he's kind of doing it tongue in cheek. He knows the audience knows that he's lying.
Trump deserved the bullet.
I never said that. No, I never said that. No.
Then I'm gonna lie. If you're gonna lie, I'm gonna lie. It's just another way of avoiding truth.
Okay, except you did to your co-host.
No, I didn't. Oh, wait. When did Donald Trump disavow? Wait. When did Donald Trump disavow?
But why would you?
Mirroring back to Andrew, well,
Because
you're
you were the
lying
one who stood
about
up to Harlan
Trump,
at
so
the
therefore
conference.
I can lie.
Yep, you are like, but
If he wanted to lie,
Yes, I suppose I admit to being less than
Yeah,
thrilled.
when you
with the
become so
prospect of giving
fixated
Lord
on Trump,
Harlan
your
free
own
rein to
behavior
transform
becomes
our
secondary.
relationship.
And how can
agreed.
that go wrong?
We cannot permit Duke's
You know.
Eldred to have his
Like
way
the
on this.
prototype of
TDS, yeah, there it
It's
comes, yeah.
unbelievable.
The
You wake
TDS.
up every morning and you decide your behavior is going to hinge on Trump.
Tell me more about the
are you
dancing
as an
Israelis and buildings.
You
all knew about 9/11 and they all want us to go to war.
You're a sociopath.
Because Trump didn't disavow in the way that you would like him to, therefore that makes your statement okay. That seems to be the logic here.
Take it easy on the Adderall and let me answer the question that Pierce asked me.
You must have been really bullied today.
My
Anna, speak,
behavior,
please.
my
In it for
behavior
yourself?
is not
Correct.
reliant
Not that merely
on
whittling
how
away
anyone
Lord
else
Harlan's
behaves.
power will
Every
change
morning
much
I
of
wake
the
up and I make decisions about how I choose to react or
Your name
respond
is
to
Noah,
things.
yes?
I don't wake up in the morning, check what Donald Trump has to say, and then base my own personal behavior on his behavior.
This really comes down to correct behavior versus incorrect behavior.
And the irony of Charlie Kirk is that he led the way in going in to debate with people who hated him, and he would try and have respectful
Charlie Kirk
dialogue.
beat up on college students.
Unlike
That's all
you,
he did.
Destiny.
Let's be
Let me
real.
bring
Unlike
Andrew
me,
Wilson in.
So do you.
Let me bring in Andrew Wilson.
So do you. You beat up on college students. You go on a college tour. You're going on a college tour right now to beat up on college students.
I was there with Destiny when he was debating with high school students, and in the moment, I respected the amount of effort he put into it because he recognized these are students that want to do this. It wasn't just beating up on students.
What are you talking about, Destiny? That's what you're doing right this second, is going on a college tour to go beat up on college students.
So because Destiny is now on the back foot so badly, he makes a big mistake here and jumps on something that's just ridiculous to jump on.
That future that they had was gone because someone fired a bullet at Charlie Kirk that said, "Hey, fascist, catch." And now you have people celebrating it, and when you ask people
That's
about
not
it,
even
they
the
say,
bullet that was fired. How are you lying about this?
Shut up, Destiny.
Holy
Shut up.
shit, You're so shameless, dude.
Hey, fascist catch was written on one of the casings. Who cares if it was the bullet that was fired? This is not a good look.
Oh my god! You're not even the right bullet. You're such a disgusting piece of shit. Holy fuck!
What a pedantic. What a pedantic.
What a pedantic.
This guy's a fucking professional liar.
Because it really comes down to proper behavior versus improper behavior. Many people seem to believe today that there's no such thing as right behavior. It's all just a matter of perspective.
Something absolutely needs to be done. This ideology should be shamed, humiliated, driven from the public discourse. I mean, you've got people who have completely dissociated with humanity.
You can justify any kind of behavior if you look for a justification long enough. But there is such a thing as the wrong way to behave. That's what we're seeing here.
I think there is an element of the left, the hard woke left, that have completely lost their minds.
This video is sponsored by Venice AI, which is fighting back against censorship on the field of AI. And there's just certain questions you cannot ask with these other platforms. So if I type in create an image of North Korean soldiers fighting in Ukraine, the response is, sorry, I can't create that image. There's no verified evidence that North Korean soldiers are fighting in Ukraine. I'm not asking that. Venice answers questions that ChatGPT won't. Why should a team of developers get to censor the questions that you ask? If you've used any of the leading AI apps, you've probably run into this before. Venice AI is the solution. It's only 2.2 censorship refusal rate compared to the 71% from Claude and 64% from ChatGPT. Venice utilizes leading open source for specialized models to deliver text code and image generation to your web browser. There's no downloads, no installations or anything. Messages are encrypted. Your conversation history is stored only in your browser. AI can be extremely valuable, but you shouldn't need to give up your privacy to use it. The Dolphin Mistral 24B Venice Edition is their most uncensored model ever. Check the link in the description, venice.ai/Warren, and use code Warren to enjoy private uncensored AI. Using my code will get you 20% off a pro plan.
If you are not able to just outright simply condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk, and if you cannot stop yourself from mocking his grieving widow, you are sick, as I've just seen from Destiny.
I mean, he has effectively turned every single person on this panel, including Anna Kasparian, against him.
Hey, how about take it easy on the Adderall? Take it easy on the Adderall, and let me answer the question that Pierce asked me.
You must have been really bullied today.
My behavior is not reliant on how anyone else behaves. Every morning I wake up and I make decisions about how I choose to react or respond to things. I don't wake up in the morning, check what Donald Trump has to say, and then base my own personal behavior on his behavior.
But Destiny just reverts back to this battle between political sides. Until one individual on your side does this specific action, it doesn't matter what I do. How could that go wrong?
The idea of mocking a woman who is now a widow with 2 young children who witnessed her husband get shot in the neck and bleed out to death. How could you mock that? What's wrong with you? I just don't understand it. That's it. I don't understand it. I don't understand you, Destiny. Gotcha. You have so much hatred in your heart. And at the same time,
it's such a simple thing. If you're going to weaponize somebody's grief against the other party, well, then of course people have a right to fight back against it.
Even his friends, even the organizers of his own event are calling him out.
We've been friends for 2 years and support you in a lot of ways, but I've been frustrated by your Tears performance, and particularly the leading into the ratcheting things up. I agree that you don't want to clap from my picture. We're not on the same team.
To make no mistake, she's not a Republican or a conservative. It's not even about that. This is about the right way to behave and the wrong way to behave.
In the case of the prisoner's dilemma, what you actually have is two sides where the win condition isn't they both get to get off scot-free, or one person's in jail, one person's not. The actual issue is that it is an audience watching this, and they get to decide the outcomes of these people, right? If the left and right are in a boxing match, the winning team is the team that knocks the other team out faster or harder. It's who the audience loves the most, because that's how democracy works.
I often say the audience does not lie, and this is similar to what she's describing. There's no escaping the audience, and the audience is a reflection of the fabric of reality.
Most moderates look at the assassination and they're horrified, but then they look at you mocking Erica Turk and they're horrified. And the issue is that all we're doing is we're just driving normal people further away, not because they're making the most rational decision, but because they are the audience that gets to decide the winner.
Destiny's game has been kind of the opposite, where it's this element of troll-like behavior that garners attention. That can work for a bit. In the end, it will cause you to implode.
Yeah. Perfect catch.
Race beyond limits.
Yep.
Hunk of tire.
Gotcha. Yes.
Implode.
And I'm terrified that you are driving the audience to look at us as the villains. And I don't want the left to be the villains.
I'm really curious to see how Destiny responds to this.
Yeah, so I think that when you look at prisoner's dilemma stuff or tit for tat strategies, I think that's exactly how humans work. I think it maps on perfectly to human behavior. I think that people don't do things that they think is going to be a bad outcome for it. I think that people do things that they feel like there's going to be some cooperative effort for it. I think that the thing that I guess I would fight for right now, rather than just the whether or not you look unhinged or not, I think there should be a fight for the framing.
Notice his use of the language there, tit for tat.
I think that in a system where Donald Trump can make violent statement after violent statement after violent statement after violent statement, if somebody could look at a random person on the left and go, wow, this is too much for me, that system is deeply broken. And I think it's worth having the fight there.
So he just goes right back to Donald Trump. What she was talking about is something so much larger than just Trump.
The issue is that when I watched the peers debate, you have Andrew Wilson, the major attack that you had on him was denouncing Hortman, and he just immediately did it.
So let's look at the moment she's referring to.
Will any of the conservatives here acknowledge the conservative that murdered Melissa Hortman and her husband and shot the other senator in Minnesota? Yeah, of course. Yeah, just about all conservative shooter. That it was a conservative shooter.
I don't know the details on that particular case. If I did, and it turned out that it was the case, of course, I would say that such violence should be disavowed. The thing is, you can't hold your entire moral standard based on what you think Trump is doing or not doing. What does that have to do with you, Destiny? It has nothing to do with you.
And so all of a sudden, you've lost all of the moral high ground. You just optically look terrible.
Well, to be clear, it's not losing any moral high ground. It's losing your perceived optical high ground. But you know somebody who did it?
I, Destiny, know better than the world. There is no fabric of reality that the audience reflects. I mean, you could play that game for a bit.
The issue is that to most normal viewers, they watched you look more awful than every other person on that panel, whereas you could have just had the high ground. You could go, of course the killing of Charlie Kirk was wrong, but why isn't the president calling down violence? Like,
yeah, and then they immediately do the Twitter account. You guys always have fantasies in your mind about what the conversation will look like next, but it never, ever, ever goes that way.
It's the problem with bad behavior. You can always find a way to rationalize it.
And the framing needs to change, that it can't constantly be that one side has to act, 50 million levels of morality above the other side to be taken seriously. That's just a very unserious. And if that is where the moderate is at or the normie is at, then I guess we just go to the next, whatever the next form of government is after that. The current one is not working.
Think about what that means. Let's just move on to the next form of government. So there goes democracy. Winston Churchill, democracy is the worst form of government except for all the others. And Destiny's claiming, well, then we might just have to move on to one of the worst forms.
I know. How about that girl we made friends with in town?
It's time for lefties losing it, and the broken, soulless ghouls of the left have really disgraced themselves in recent days after the murder of a great American, Charlie Kirk. No matter how low our opinion and expectations of these miserable miscreants of the left, they still manage to surprise us with the depth of their depravity.
The sympathy for Charlie Kirk is fucking weird.
You want to know why I'm so stoked? Go ahead and Google Charlie Kirk.
Rest in peace, bozo.
I do not feel bad for him in the slightest.
Put down like a dog in Utah, and I could not be happier.
Charlie would have wanted it this way.
He's been one of the most divisive younger figures who is constantly pushing hate speech.